plane. Fly down to the water on the pickings and we sail away. I ain't talking about no Honolulu ocean going ship out here, shuffleboard. Just ain't. Yes, I ain't even room, son. I'm talking about a country cruise. Got our own little love when we park in the yard. 12-foot. Got it Walmart, rocking down the river. My favorite view's a farmer's daughter on the water in a pair of daisy dukes. Skinny dipping catfishing in a cold 6-pack. Son, it don't get any better than that. You can have a Caribbean today. I'm thinking not far up the river is our favorite little port of call, where the native tongue is spoken with a little bit of southern drawl. We'll be building a little fire when the sun goes down. Burn a little fire and we take just that here too, son. I'm talking about a country cruise. We got a little love, we park in the yard. She's a 12-foot John, we got a Walmart, rocking down the river. My favorite view's a farmer's daughter on the water in a pair of daisy dukes. Getting in fishing in a cold 6-pack. Son, it don't get any better than that. You can have a Caribbean, but man, like a country cruise. While you're on the Caribbean, I'll be on the country.
Woo! Dave Wilbur with his song Country Cruise. I love that song.
Thank you. Yeah, we that's a song that I've been playing for a long, long time. And we put it out in 2020, not knowing how to do anything, to be honest with you. My brother and I and another buddy of mine, we thought, why not try to get this thing out to radio? And we didn't know what we didn't know. And we had some success with it, some regional success, but it may be one of those songs that down the road we bring back because it's such a fun summertime song,
Well, it is a great song. And oh my gosh, it's a lifestyle song. I mean, it's a song that everybody can relate to.
Yes, ma'am.
It's more than just the drinking and loving and, falling over.
Yeah, it's about it's just summertime, going out on the lake, going out on the ocean, wherever, and just having a big time. We all grew up doing those things and long for those days again.
Absolutely, I'm ready to do that again. I definitely miss it. So we got a couple of your fans starting to pop up, so we're gonna let them in and kind of so you can see. This is the great thing about Carolina Unplugged, Dave, is on the radio we get 5 or 6 minutes to chit chat and we get to talk about that one song, but this is a chance where we can kind of go behind the scenes a little bit and engage with our fan base, engage within your fan base, and find out really about Dave. Who is Dave? And really get to know you a little bit more and get the fan base to know you a little bit more. And I'm a Facebook creeper. I know you would have never imagined that, but I'm a Facebook creeper. And I was impressed. You obviously live in the country, and it has been a snowy, cold winter, but you're warm and toasty.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I heat my house with wood, put a wood stove in. I bought it. My wife and I bought an old place, an old farmhouse on some land, and we've been remodeling it for a few years now. We finally got done, but a couple years ago, we put a wood stove in where there used to be one. It wasn't there when we bought it, but you could see where there had been one. And then also, I ended up having my part of my farm select cut because we had so much. We had a lot of mature trees that needed to be harvested. So, I was able to keep a lot of the tops. And so we split wood all the time and burn wood all the time. And
well, I'm impressed because you chopped that wood in one swing.
I did. My favorite character growing up was Paul Bunyan, so I thought I'd try my Paul Bunyan out. Folks my age may remember Paul Bunyan. I'm sure the kids don't, but But I cheat a little bit now. I've got a log splitter. I had so many trees that need to be cut, and I still have trees that need to be cut. So I ended up getting a log splitter to expedite the process. But every now and again, I'll show off with a little bit of wood split.
Well, I was impressed. It was like you got some guns there, so that was pretty good. And obviously, being on a farm and being out of town itself really gives you the opportunity to kind of get in tune with your music and your writing. Kind of, let us know about that a little bit.
Yes, it's a lot of peace and quiet. A lot of peace and quiet where I am. The only thing that's loud out there where we are right now are the chickens. And the dog, my dogs will bark every now and again, and of course the cats. But the chickens are the loudest thing around. Real quick, I'll tell you, we had gotten some poults a few weeks ago, 13 or 14 of them, and we knew one of them was a rooster who we properly named Conway. To find out we've got 2 or 3 others now that have come out to be roosters, and so we had a kitty. We had a white one we named Kitty for Kitty Wells, and then Kitty became Kenny Rogers because Kitty is Kenny. And anyway, so it's a lot of peace and quiet out there. It does give me time to think and to play music. My son and my wife have moved me out to the barn though for any music because I drive them crazy being in the house. So I go a mud room. It's in the barn, and I go out there. I converted it into like a little bit of a music / exercise room, and that's where I do. I'll jot down notes. I've got great songwriter friends of mine that are just phenomenal. So I try to lean on them as much as I can. I've got a good songwriting buddy in Indiana that he and I collaborate from time to time, that's what I do.
So when you're writing as what's happening to you right now, or just kind of you get a tune in your head and then you write to the tune, or how do you get to?
Yeah, I would think more of the second. I'll have an idea for maybe a phrase that'll come in my mind, and I'll write it down, and I'll think, oh, I've never heard that sung, or maybe it's just a different take on it. So I have my phone is full of, they're called hooks, song titles and hooks. And then, my goal is to work with good writers and have them help me shape it. I would say I'm not going to claim to be some super duper songwriter. There's so much talent in Nashville, and everything starts with the song, and the songwriters are really the lifeblood of this industry. Without the song, there's no reason for us to be talking.
Yeah.
It has to move people emotionally, whether it's a fun song like we just played or a more serious song or whatever. But, I don't really write about what's going on per se. That's true and somewhat untrue. I have written a few things recently that are a little more poignant to the times, but mostly it's just a hook, that comes to my mind, and I'll write it down.
Oh, totally understand. And you know what? First of all, and I wish I would have said this at the beginning, and I didn't. But I want to thank you so much for sharing your music with us and sharing your music with our listeners. It takes a lot for a person to put their feelings and everything on paper and share it with the world. And I just want to thank you for doing that. Really,
well, thank you for having me on your format. I mean, this is awesome, and I'm very thankful and very blessed to be able to do it. It's been a long journey to get to this point, but every day is new and fun and exciting. So, I'm excited to be here and thankful that I'm able to provide music through your radio stations.
Oh, now question for you: growing up, what was the one country song that impacted you and said, I love country music?
Early on, I grew up in a household. My parents were teachers. I grew up in North Vernon, Indiana, little small town, farm town. And, we'd hear everything from Dolly and Kenny to Porter Wagner then you'd hear, the Mamas and the Papas and ABBA and some crazy Scottish music when they went over to Scotland one time. But I can remember early on when my oldest brother, Billy, he wasn't a country guy. He was more like Van Halen and those guys. But he got an early. I heard Charlie Daniels' "Devil Went Down to Georgia," and that was a really great song. And then I heard some of the earlier, rowdier stuff from Alabama that I liked. But I think the song that has resonated the most with me, and I look back on where I live and how I live, is "A Country Boy Can't Survive" by Hank Williams Jr. I mean, I literally lived the song. I mean,
the chickens and the cows, and the wood chopping.
I live out in the woods with my woman, the kids, and the dogs, and me out in the woods. I mean, that's a true story. I mean, I have a 4-wheel drive. I have several shotguns. I mean, it's just that song is. It just must have imprinted itself into my subconscious, and there I am, So my buddy, awesome. I see a friend of mine from high school is trying to say I was singing AC/DC. We did in a talent show years and years ago when I was in high school. Our band, we sang some AC/DC, and that was the one and only attempt at singing AC/DC. I learned quickly that I wasn't built for screaming and and that raspy voice.
That's all right. We can lip sync to it now. We're all okay now. It seems like it's all right to do that. After Milli Vanilli, it's all right.
Right.
Oh my gosh. So, what is your favorite bar in Nashville? There's a lot of them to choose from, but your favorite one to play at?
To play at? I don't play the bars anymore. I mean, I just, I've kind of moved out of. My whole thing is, of course, I've done all that. My favorite bar in town to go to and listen to music is Robert's Western World right on Broadway, because they have more of a throwback rockabilly sound, up bass, and just singing Marty Robbins a lot, and great songs, great books. Yeah. So as far as playing, my goal now is to really. I guess, like I said, my ambition in life is not to play bars and be backdrop noise for the bar back and bar owners and make them a bunch of money and let people, get drink till they don't know who I am. My goal is, if I play in those bars, to be where it's an event where people buy tickets to come. Hopefully, they want to hear us play some music. And then also, your small theaters, your little hometown theaters, and things like that. That those are really where my side. But I've played a million bars. I mean, all over the place. I've got crazy stories that I could share that are fairly colorful. But
well, this is Carolina Unplugged, so what we can't do on radio, we can do on the internet.
I think one of my favorite places to play in town here. Was a place called Mickey Roo's. It was in Franklin, Tennessee, a little bit south of Nashville. The owners and it was just a really had a good crowd. It was always people were there to hear the music, though. They were very attentive, and the biggest thing is they never asked me to turn down. That's all. Excuse me. That's always the.
That's important.
That's the bummer, right? When you're playing music and you're really there as backdrop. You're really not the main focus. So at Mickey Roo's, they never asked me to turn down. So that was always great.
I've even had that happen to me. So it kind of like, I do. It kind of like blows the whole night when they say, "You're too loud." I'm like, why am I here?
Right. I understand.
Why am I here? I'll go home. I totally get it. Now, you're a hunting buff, right?
Mm-hmm.
You love to hunt. So what's your favorite? Are you one of those guys when it's buck day is what I like to call it? Are you like, I'm there, I'm taking the day off and I'm doing anything else?
Yeah, I'm more, my passion is turkey hunting. I like to deer and I like to rabbit hunt and I like to quail hunt. I've never been pheasant hunting. I've really never been duck hunting either, but my favorite hunting by far is turkey hunting, which is coming up here fairly soon. I think season opens up here in Tennessee, April 3rd. And it's just a great time. It's camaraderie, something I can, I've done with all of my kids. I've taken them turkey hunting, and my buddies and I, we always get together and turkey hunt. I hunt, it's basically the whole month of April and a few weeks into May. And I purposely bought where I bought so I could hunt right out of my door, so I could walk outside and hunt. I mean, that was intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm passionate about turkey hunting. Over the years, I've become a decent caller. I use a couple brands people may know: Woodhaven and Longbeard Life and Primos and Quaker Boy, and I love it. There's nothing. It's just besides playing music, if I could be a professional turkey hunter, that would be my next. Yep.
That was the only thing I've turkey hunted was I hunted it out of my van. My true story.
I believe it.
Of Pennsylvania. My husband's driving the radio station van to the radio station, and a turkey comes through the windshield at 60 miles an hour, breaks his nose, but he was like, "Don't worry," because he broke his neck.
Yeah, it came out on the better.
It really happens.
Yeah. I think it does happen every year. I mean.
Yeah, they get crazy just like deer get crazy.
They do. Yeah, they do. It's their mating season, and that's what the males have on their mind, and they're running those hens down just as fast as they can, and the hens have had enough, and they're running to get away. So
some things just never change, right?
No, I'm just glad. I'm glad we're not reduced down to 1 month of mating season. That would be tough.
That would be awful. That would be a country song all on its own right there.
Yeah, maybe we should write that.
And
then the bad thing is then they get shot, right? They get shot in pursuit or post fact. It's not the outcome.
The Dixie Chicks wrote a song about that.
Did they?
Earl.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, they did. I remember.
So you can shoot them.
Yeah.
They come back. So I want to talk a little bit about your influence in country music. Mm-hmm. We were talking a little bit offline, and your parents were a big influence for country music for you. And I want to talk a little bit about how they introduced you into country music and kind of molded you the way you are, because you have more of a traditional sound of country. You have that more of that Conway Twitty and George Jones style country.
Well, I take that as a big compliment, because both of those guys are heroes of mine. I don't think it was purposeful. I don't think it was intentional, but I grew up in a household with 3 brothers, and music was just on. My parents, I can remember as a youngster going with my parents to, I don't know, like maybe the Greenwood Mall in Indiana, which is south of Indianapolis, and then picking up a Daewoo or Daewoo stereo system, and I just thought it was the best thing ever. I still remember. I mean, it was in their bedroom forever. Kind of creepy now to think about, but anyway, they just had music on all the time. Like I said, it could have been Porter Wagoner or Dolly, a lot of Alabama, Rogers. It was just, Paul Simon. My favorite song growing up as a kid was Slit Sliding Away, because I would get my tube socks and go running into the room because they had hardwood floors, and I'd slide around on the floor thinking that's what the song was about. So, it wasn't intentional. And then, I grew up where, I came through that, kind of had the long hair bands like Van Halen and then spandex bands like Poison and all those guys. So, all that kind of came and went. And, what was always tried and true, though, was country music was always steady and consistent. And, my influences, of course, when Garth Brooks came on the scene, but, really Clint Black, Alan Jackson, that class of whatever that was, 1990, 1989, Randy Travis. And then I went off to college and really just kind of got way into it, just kind of went berserk on, not only those people that influenced me, but the folks that influenced them, the George Joneses and the Merle Haggards and the Conway Twitties that you talked about, Junior, Hank Sr., Marty Robbins, Marty Stewart, on and on and on. I was thinking this morning, I heard Doug Stone, Better Off in a Pine Box, and I just, I wore that album out. Doug Stone's first, his album, just all kinds of people that I hear from time to time that really weren't maybe as superstars, but I just love their music,
They're superstars now. in their own right. And there's nothing like the sound of a steel guitar.
Yeah.
Nothing. There's nothing like the sound of a harmonica. And a lot of times we do miss that in newer, I'm going to call it hip hop country.
Sure.
It's a lot of people call it different things, but I think people are longing, especially right now. I think they're longing for more of a traditional country song, because we are also in a society of we're trying to heal.
Sure.
And I think there's a sense of comfort in having that fond memory and the fond feeling of what we're getting from music.
I agree.
It doesn't all have to be, I'm going to rap in the middle of a country song and it's all got to be digital. There is something so special about hearing the notes.
You know what the most outlaw thing you can do in country music today is? I'm going to ask you this question. You know what the most this is not my quote. This is a quote I read from Marty Stewart, who's a big influence on me. The most outlaw thing you can do is sing country music.
Amen. Amen. That is so true.
That's the most outlaw, and it is, hey, I wish everybody out there that's making it, I know how hard it is. I know, I don't wish them anything but success. Some of that music that's out today is not my cup of tea. And you won't hear it out of me. I couldn't do it. and what I can honestly say is all the music you hear, or that you will hear from me moving forward, hopefully, these were live players. This wasn't a digital program. This wasn't done on computer. This was done with real people, real American blood pumping through their veins.
Yes.
The creativity and the passion that you hear in the song is because it was humans that did it. And that can't be replicated. You can't capture emotions digitally. And I think that's what people are longing for. And I hope they find, selfishly, I hope I resonate that for them, right? I hope that I become maybe a bridge of the past or something. I don't know how to say it, but our music is heavily influenced by the 90s for sure. Some of these songs are not, they're not fresh off. They're not, the ink has been dry for a long, long time. But good songs are good songs. There are great songs. It doesn't matter, if they're written, last week or 10 years ago. It just matter. It's just now it's time for them to be heard. And hopefully I'm the medium that's able to do that.
Well, we definitely enjoy your music over here on Carolina Country. And the scrolling at the bottom, I do have a new music alert, so people can be able to find it there. And I know you're on all the social media platforms as well, so people can kind of go there and follow your music and follow your day-to-day activities on the farm and keep posting that stuff, because that is like the coolest stuff ever.
Well, we do a segment called Throwback Thursdays that just to kind of, to have something to, right now we can't go out and play, so these things are very fun and exciting for me to do because we can't go out and play. The world's still kind of locked down. So every Thursday or Wednesday night, whenever it is, I try to record something, and we take requests. People send in requests, and if there's a song or so that I know of that artist, sometimes I can't do the specific song, but I do, I have other songs from that artist that I can pull from. I'll do one. So every Thursday, be on the alert. We'll have a Throwback Thursday, and hopefully we'll be adding more content too, just about life. I know I'll be doing some turkey talk here pretty soon. We talk.
That's important.
As the days get closer, I'll start. I'm like a tom. I start to swell up and strut around. And I'll be doing some turkey stuff here hopefully in the very near future.
That's gonna be awesome. Now, we were talking about Throwback Thursday, and we were talking offline, about your influences in music and stuff. And I'm going to kind of take you back to maybe to someone else's song. But, if you had the one song to pick that was, your parents' favorite song, what would that be?
Yeah, My dad's a man of few words, so he doesn't talk a whole lot about music. Mostly his passion is Kentucky basketball and the St. Louis Cardinals professional baseball team. If you want to talk about that, he'll talk your ear off. But my mom's favorite song it was a Hank Jr. song that Alan Jackson remade called Blues Man. And matter of fact, she's requested it on Throwback Thursdays. I haven't I haven't got to it yet, not because I'm a bad son, just because I had done it about a year ago and thought I should, But yeah, so Blues Man by Alan Jackson / Hank Williams.
Oh, would you be able to play it for us?
Yeah, I think I can. I hope so. My fingers.
I thought I saw a guitar back there.
Well, I had some waffles earlier today and some maple syrup. Driving, trying to eat that at the same time to the town. So my fingers.
Wait a minute, you were eating waffles and driving at the same time.
Well, I had 2 waffles and I put some blueberries in the middle, put some maple syrup in the middle, and I made it like a sandwich. Well, of course, maple syrup was pouring all over my hands, so my steering wheel sticky, my fingers are sticky. Now my guitar probably sticky. But here we go, Blues Man from Mama. Let's see. He's just a singer, natural born guitar ringer, kind of a clinger to sad old songs. He's not a walk behind her, he's a new known finder. His name's a reminder of a blues man that's already gone. So he started drinking, took some things and messed up his thinking. He was sure sinking. He came along, he was alone in that spotlight, not too much left inside. Came in there one night, that blues. Hey baby, I love you. Hey baby, I need you. Hey baby, I do get tired of us traveling back. I'm over 40 years old now. Nights will be cold now. If you hung around that blues. He got so sick from speeding, all the things they said he was needing. He's to keep on pleasing all of his fans. He got cuffed on dirt roads, got sued over no shows. She came and took down that old loan, down off that blues man. Hey baby, I love you. Hey baby, I need you. Hey baby, you ain't got to prove to me you're some kind of macho man. You wasted so much of your life running through that dark night. Let me shine a little love light down on that blues man. I'm over 40 years old now. Nights would be so cold now if you hadn't hung around this blues man. You hadn't stuck it out.
Woo! Dave Wilbert, thank you so much. I can see why that would be your mama's favorite song.
Yeah, I got a little excited there and I switched the verses around the choruses, but that's okay.
All right.
It's like, I call it my creative freedom, artistic freedom. Let's call it that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will, trust me, I will never say anything about it. That is awesome. So how is the weather in Tennessee?
Oh, it's great. It's like, a week ago we were, it was like, 15 degrees and ice and snow and it's treacherous everywhere. And, over the weekend, it started to warm up. And the first part of this week, everything's melted off. It's like yesterday, it was like 70 degrees. It was like San Diego out here. So
It's time to get out and enjoy it.
Kind of gone from the deep freeze to springtime like that.
Yes. Yes. Now I'm starting to see the flowers bloom. I'm in North Carolina this week in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which is the home of the 82nd Airborne.
Yeah.
Here. And I have to tell you, it is a different feeling when you walk out the door to get in your car and all of a sudden you hear machine guns and heavy drops. And it's like, I'm ready to dive under the car. And then I have to remember that I'm at Fort Bragg. And that's normal here, military planes, cargo planes, seeing people jumping out of airplanes. That is something that's just an everyday thing here.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to make sure I thank the servicemen and women down there in Fort Bragg and everywhere else. My best friend growing up in high school, he enlisted in the Army and then made it to airborne school, 82nd Airborne down there. And at one point, I took a trip down to see him while he was still in active duty. So I have a lot of respect for the servicemen and women. So thank you guys for doing what you do. On a personal note, my son, he's been in the military since he was like 2 years old. It's crazy. His great grandfather captured Nazis in World War II, and ever since he had heard that story, he's just been, just enthralled with the military. And he has enlisted, and when he graduates high school, he'll be going to Fort Benning, Georgia, and then he wants to go to airborne school too. So very well could be.
Wow. That is. I had an opportunity to be a soldier for the day. I could never do it for entire life. I did it for a day, but we have the jump tower here, and this is where it is at that. I think it's 36 feet. It's at that level. Either you're afraid of heights or you're not afraid of heights. That's where I found out that I am definitely afraid of heights, because when they said step off, I couldn't do it. I had to be pushed off. Not everybody can do it.
I don't have a fear of heights. I have a fear of edges. That's a crazy thing. I'm afraid of heights. I can be in a plane, but if I'm in a tall building, I won't go up against I won't look over the edge. I don't even stay in embassy suites. That's how, because the inside rooms, and they got if I am, I'm walking right up against the other wall, like a creepy guy going up against your door or your window. So I don't know where this thing manifested from. I never had it as a kid. I don't know what it is. My wife makes fun of me though. Like we've been at some events wherever, and you're way up high, and I won't anywhere close to the edge. I'm always afraid that the glass is going to come in and suck us out.
Oh, I get it. I completely get it. Get it.
It's a bizarre phobia. I have no idea. I don't even know what you call it, but I certainly have it.
I like that. It's an edge phobia. I don't like the edge.
Yeah.
I've got some weird things that I'm afraid of. So I feel it. I do. Yeah. Now I always ask my guests. Now country music is about pickup trucks. So I need to know, and our listeners need to know, are you a Chevy man or are you a Ford man? This is super important.
Whatever your fans are fans of, I'm that. No, that's the political. I'm a Ford guy. been driving Fords for a long time. I've got a couple at the farm right now. I got a Ford Expedition, and then I've got a Ford F-250 there as well.
A lot of people say Ford was made to pull Chevy.
Well, for all your Chevy fans out there, I didn't say that. Sweet Tea said that.
I said that. We have one of each, so our bases are we're covered on our end. I figured out how to do that the right way. We've got one of each. Our biggest argument in our house is I am a John Deere, and my husband's an International Harvester.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so that is like our big thing. I have a John Deere, and he has an International Harvester. That is our big, and I think that's pretty big. I think that's bigger than the Chevy and the Ford battle back and forth.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's obviously people that drive Chevys or Fords, but then have, International Harvesters or John Deeres. But see, I've got an old 8N Ford on my place, an old like 56 model, old. It's underpowered, so I'm gonna eventually upgrade to either a John Deere, an International, or a Kubota. I'm not sure. But I know what you mean. I like John Deere. If I had to lean one way, I would lean your way. I'm a John Deere hat. Like I didn't even know where I picked it up. I've got a John Deere hat that I like to wear. I'm giving them
a little better in green. That's what
free advertisement.
I look much better in green. Oh my gosh. I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, it has been wonderful having you part of our Carolina Unplugged this week. We do them every Thursday at noontime. Gives folks an opportunity to kind of get the background of some of our artists that we play on the station and get to know you personally and let people know that there's more about you than just the music. Everybody's got a story that impacts their music.
Right.
And what a pleasure it is to have. Now, you do have a new single. It's being dropped on radio. Actually, I guess it was last week, right?
Monday, just a couple days ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not too far out of the loop. We'll give a shout out to RJ. He did a good job about calling this week.
Well, good. Well, RJ, people don't know, RJ works with Grassroots Promotions here in Nashville, and that's who I've partnered up with, and they've done a phenomenal job. We're super excited with, like I said, we put out Country Cruise on our own, didn't know really how to do anything, but we had some success. I think we learned a lot. We learned that we needed a partner like Grassroots. That's what we learned, and we're excited. I mean, the song's being, I think it's somewhere around 50 plus stations across the United States now. It's being played upwards of 400 and sometime, 400 plus times this week. Thanks to people like yourself, and I hope you'll just burn it up down there in the Carolinas. I hope you just let it run on a loop for about a week. That'd be great.
All day, all the time.
Yeah, all day, all the time. And we're very excited. It is out on the social, like you said, Spotify and Pandora and Amazon and Apple, and we've had a lot of success there. We're getting more success. But it's, the funniest thing about making music and singing the music business, it isn't the music and the singing, I don't mean to sound arrogant, but it's the easiest part of the whole deal. Yeah. Getting the song out to radio and getting radio to play it and getting it added into these, these playlists and whatever, these influencers on these streaming sites. It's like an act of Congress. I mean, it's amazing how hard it is. You think, oh, it's a good song and it sounds good, they play it. No. So I appreciate it very much that you guys are willing to play a truly independent artist like myself. We don't have the backing of a, RCA or Warner Brothers or anything like that. It's us. But I think the music is really strong, and I think if we can continue to build alliances with great people like yourself, then we'll have some success. And I want to have fun and play music. I don't have that's it. I just want to play music, and hopefully people will connect with it.
Have fun, do good.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I will say this: you can find out all the information about what's coming up, what's coming out on my Facebook page. So it's Dave Wilbert Music. My website is davewilbertmusic.com. we have a fan club, and I really should call it a friend club because I'm really more interested in making a bunch of friends. It's called Will Billy Nation. It's free. Sign up, and we will be doing a free Zoom concert here, gosh, probably sometime in mid-March. And we'd love to just, and it's a way for us just to stay in touch with folks out there. And when this world opens up, we'll come out and play in a neighborhood near you.
Hey, I am always for it. You can always come to Fayetteville, and we'll set up a bunch of our local soldiers and maybe do some type of benefit concert for them. Yeah. I'm sure they would really, really appreciate it. We would appreciate it as well. Now, your new song out this week is called "It's All Yours." Give me a little background to it.
So it's all yours. I didn't write it, but I know the songwriters. One of them is a really good friend of mine. Matter of fact, when you said International Harvester, it registered because he wrote that song, International Harvester, for Craig Morgan. So his name's Phil O'Donnell. Everybody calls him Phil Billy. And I go back with him a long, long time. He played out on the road with me years and years ago. Very successful songwriter, producer. And unfortunately, this song, it's kind of it's not, I didn't write it, but it's almost, I guess, what's it called when someone writes a story about you, autobiographical, an autobiography, yes. So I lived this song, unfortunately. And that's why it resonates so well with me. I was married and then I wasn't married. Lost a lot of my stuff through that process. It wasn't like she was a character in the song though. She didn't go run off with the ex-boyfriend. I certainly can relate to losing all my stuff because that happened. And so it's divorce is a very serious subject, and I don't wish it on anybody. But unfortunately, it happens. And this is a song kind of. Like not making fun of it or light of it by any means, but just there's light at the end of the tunnel. Me personally, I've met an incredible woman that I'm blessed to call my wife today, and so it's kind of a if you hear the pain in it, it's because I lived it. Yeah, ma'am.
So it's definitely relatable, huh?
Well, like what they say, 52% of all marriages end in divorce. So, how many millions of people have been through it, unfortunately. So, this is my, so maybe that's my calling. Maybe I'm servicing the divorce niche of country music,
Well, you would be, that is the majority of people nowadays. That is definitely the majority of people. So, we always like for our to sing their recent song as we head out of the show.
Sure.
So I want to make sure folks know where to grab your music. Dave Wilbert, you can catch him on all your social media platforms, Amazon, Spotify, on the radio, which is the most important part. And I tell you what, you want to talk about getting him on the radio, you call your local radio station and you call them over and over and over. That's how you'll get local radio airplay. And then RJ will follow up and call as well. So that's
exactly right. That's exactly right. Well, yeah. So we're out there on all the social platforms, but most importantly, my favorite medium is radio. I grew up on radio. I believe in radio. I'll support radio until my last breath. So I appreciate you guys very much playing us. Like I said, just go ahead and put it in heavy rotation. We appreciate that right out of the gate. And
weekend, Dave, all weekend. There we go.
The two songs back to back for
just loop.
Yeah,
I've done it.
This is a song called "It's All Yours." It's the latest single. Unfortunately, I probably need to hire a better guitar player to play along with me, but. Anyway, this is it. It's all yours. And it's a new single out today. It's out on the radio and it's out on everywhere you can find it on Facebook and myDaveWilbertmusic.com. All right? Here we go. You took my rain. You took a vow. You took my name in front of the whole dang town. Took out a loan. my expense. Then you took a vacation with your ex-boyfriend. Now you're swimming in the ocean off the coast of Costa Rica, eating shrimp, shish kebabs, and drinking frozen margaritas. The house, the boat, the car, the truck, the diamond ring, and the rest of the stuff I've been breaking my back and busting my butt for. It's all yours. You took advantage of my heart. You took the balance to the limit on my platinum MasterCard. It didn't take me too much time to finally open up my eyes and see you took me for a ride. Now you're on my leather sofa, eating chips and double dipping. You're watching pay-per-view on that new big screen television. The house, the boat, the car, the truck, the diamond ring, and the rest of the stuff I've been bringing my back and busting my butt for. It's all yours. Now you're swimming in the ocean off the coast of Costa Rica, eating shrimp, shish kebabs, and drinking frozen margaritas. House, the boat, the car, the truck, the diamond ring, and the rest of the stuff I've been bringing my back and busting my butt for. It's all yours. It's all yours. Yeah, it's all yours.
Nice job, Dave. Dave Wilbur, thank you so much for being with us today. What a fun song.
Yeah,
Such a true song. It's fun. It's a great way to laugh about
it. It makes divorce so much better, doesn't it?
I'm ready to go to Costa Rica. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much again for being with us today on Carolina Unplugged. Great way to kind of meet you and start getting folks introduced to you. Always welcome to come to Myrtle Beach or Fayetteville anytime.
I tell you what, let's stay in touch, because if there are opportunities to go down there and play, we do it. I mean, at the end of the day, I want to meet the folks and play. So that's it, you know. So
I won't put you in a bar. How's that sound?
As long as they want to come see me in a bar, I'm fine with it.
Sounds great. Thank you again, Dave. You can also, like I said, you can check them out on the radio. We'll be playing them on Carolina Country, and also you can catch them on all the social media platforms. We'll have a tag on this video that'll lead you straight from here over to Dave, and shoot him a message telling him how much you enjoyed today's Carolina Unplugged. I'm Sweet Tea with you. Don't forget to tune in today, 2:00, and I'll play some of your favorites. Now, Dave, you got to get a request in other than your song for today's show. So what's your request for today? What do you want to hear?
I want to hear Country Boy Can't Survive.
Oh, you got it. Absolutely. I got your request in for today. I'm Sweet Tea. Y'all have a blessed day. See y'all later. Bye.
Bye-bye.